I'm just going to jump in here on this Monday night to present what has become a holiday tradition for us here. Well, it's year 3, so I guess it's the start of a tradition anyway. We're joined by comedian, actor, author, publisher, community fundraiser, bon vivant, James Mullinger in his house lounging attire. You look good there in Rothesay.
Well, thank you very much, Todd. I mean, look, I'm self-employed. This is my Christmas party each year. So I spend all December entertaining other people's Christmas parties. And then I wait for this night when I get to be with you, Todd, and we get to have maybe a little glass of homemade wine together.
Oh, look at that. I don't see my glass around here, so you'll just have to pour one for me, and I'll pick it up later.
It's from the Mullinger cellar, and it's the real deal.
The real deal. Okay. All right. I'll try that. You look good. It's been a heck of a year. I'm surprised you're up and around and so lovely attired, because you were just on stage last night?
I was, yes. I ended my kind of hilariously named Greatest Hits Tour, which was a tour of my, in theory, best jokes from the last 20 years of being a comedian. And I've taken it all across the country. I've been to every province. It's been magical. So this past month, I was interspersing, doing corporate gigs with the Greatest Hits Tour, and then also released the album on Friday.
Right. So this is what I'm really intrigued by this. You've released a comedy album. It used to be de rigueur at one time for comedians to put out albums. Not as much now. Why did you decide to go that route?
It's a good question. I think because a lot of comedians, they'll release their stand-up special first, and then maybe they'll release the audio afterwards, whereas I definitely had it in my mind that I wanted to do an album. I think for lots of us growing up, we would watch comedy specials on TV, but in the early years, it was always about listening to an album. You would put on a Steve Martin record or a George Clinton record or a Richard Pryor record, and you would listen to it over and over and over again as a complete thing. And my comedy never lends itself to kind of being broken up into kind of 30-second TikTok sound bites or, torn up and spread around. I'm a storyteller, so I wanted to release something which could be listened to from beginning to end. And it's out on CD. It's obviously on iTunes as well, and I'll be releasing it on vinyl next year, because why not? When you're already in the print magazine business in 2024, soon to be 2025, why not release an album on vinyl?
The Edit is your magazine people in the Maritimes may be familiar with. You're going to do a Francophone version?
Sorry? We are indeed doing a Francophone version next year. It's going to be actually a bilingual edition. So we're doing a very, very special bilingual edition, which will have all features celebrating bilingual icons and entrepreneurs and people within our province that we admire. And it's just a really, really magical moment. It's something we've always wanted to do since the beginning. And it's just really, really important that we celebrate bilingualism, and we always want to do that on the physical page in a publication which hopefully lives on people's coffee tables forever.
You've got another tour coming up as well, but I want to talk a bit about, and you talked about the magical time and Christmas and the rest, but you do some charity every year, of course. You do work for Romero House, but you also have your own. It's become something of a tradition, the Christmas market celebration right there in your own community of Rothesay.
That's right, and it was my wife's concept, the Rothesay Yule. We did the 6th annual one this year, and it's my favourite day of the year. It's just the most magical. I'm someone that absolutely loves Christmas, and just having thousands of people coming together. The real Santa Claus is there. There are vendors. There was even a pig running around this time, an actual pig running around who was the star of the show. And it's a real community event. You walk into it, it feels like you're walking into a Hallmark movie. And it was my wife used to organise these back in England for the magazine she worked for, Monocle in London. There you can see that's the real Santa Claus. The real Santa Claus can't make many personal appearances.
So it's true.
But he does at the Rothesay.
Yeah, fantastic. Speaking of Christmas back in the UK, there's something of a rigorous debate going on in your native homeland, and that is that it seems many people in Great Britain are concerned that too many people are now saying Santa and not Father Christmas there, wishing people a Merry Christmas, not Happy Christmas. Where does your family stand on this important issue?
Well, this would be a very controversial topic in my house at home. Clearly, we're both listening to lots of Jeremy Vine, because I too have heard these complaints on BBC Radio.
BBC Radio, yeah.
It is. I think possibly these people, for many, many years, used to complain that people were trying to cancel Christmas, which never had actually happened. No one's ever actually tried to cancel Christmas. And I think they've run out of things to complain about. So they're complaining about what word appears before the word Christmas. I will say this is very, very kind of dangerous territory for me to address, because my family would definitely be very angry about what they would call the Americanization of Christmas. But let's face it, I mean, St. Nicholas came first. So really, if you're going to complain about Santa Claus, then you can't use Father Christmas either. You have to call him Saint Nick.
Yeah, okay. I want to ask you about something a little more serious, but first, the kids are getting older. What's Christmas going to look like in the Mullinger household in the morning? Is it a gong show, wrapping paper everywhere?
Wrapping paper everywhere, which is something, again, which was a tradition back in England. My mum used to kind of embrace the fact that we have the paper everywhere. My wife likes to keep things very tidy in this house, so there's always a war of paper, push and pull. My children have ridiculously long Christmas list full of things that they're never going to get. So basically, Christmas morning looks a lot like disappointment. Okay. Because there's only so much that Santa Claus or Father Christmas, sorry, Mum, can do.
And so what, the pig won't be running through the house?
If the pig was running through the house, then it would officially be the best Christmas ever.
Okay, I want to end on something a little more serious. You're completing a book. I got about a minute left. You're completing a book in the new year about your life with ADHD, which is something you've been very open about talking about. How hard was it as a kid growing up with ADHD? Because this was something that wasn't widely recognized, not widely diagnosed, and I know it still can be really difficult for young people growing up with it.
Totally. And the amazing thing about the Atlantic Canadian education system is we are blessed with some of the greatest teachers in the world who know exactly how to deal with this now. And I love meeting children who are the age I was when I was struggling with this and had no idea why I was struggling, why I couldn't form connections, why I couldn't concentrate or focus. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, it was absolutely brutal in the 80s growing up with this thing that I didn't know why I was different to everyone else. And I tell you what, it is absolutely heartwarming now, meeting teachers going into schools and meeting students who are the age I was when I was at kind of my lowest ebb, and seeing the support that they get. And I say, at Christmas time, hats off to Atlantic Canadian teachers. You are the saints in our community.
Has it helped or hurt your career?
It's an excellent question. I think a huge part of what this book is about turning what many consider to be a disorder into a superpower. And I do believe that the ADHD is what has led me to be able to do 500 different things at once. Now, granted, it has been a very exhausting 30 years. Knowledge is power. Now, knowing why I am this way. But I've been up since, 4 o'clock this morning, writing the book, writing jokes, recording podcasts, and it goes on and on and on. So it's definitely helped me, but it is exhausting.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and as Christmas approaches and you get all that wrapping to do, it's going to be no less exhausting. James Mullinger, thank you for doing this, and happy
thank you so much.
Christmas.
Happy Christmas, and may Santa/Father/Saint Nick find you and your family.
You too, my friend. We'll connect in the new year. Thanks.
Can't wait.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more of your local news.